Let's talk about how to raise the value of the price. I get a lot of pushback on this one. I always say the price first, and then I justify everything that comes with it. You know, if you leave the price at the very end of what you've just justified to the person, it comes off as a cliffhanger. Okay, so let me be very clear on this. If I say the price at the very beginning of the conversation and I'm just like, hey, just want to be transparent with you. At the end of this call, our offer is about $40,000. We typically encourage people to have that amount liquid. If you don't, we can get you approved for plenty of funding partners that we have. But in fairness, I just want to make sure that I say that, and everything that follows after this point in the conversation justifies why it makes sense to actually move forward with us. Some people are really taken back by that type of price point. They're just not in the position to be able to work with us. So I just wanted to make sure that we don't waste one another's time before we continue the conversation. And I show you why it makes sense to make that type of investment with us. Do you think you could spend the next 15 minutes with me on the call walking through that process? Or is this too much of a sticker shocker fact for you and you just want to end the conversation right here? Great way to start a conversation and get bad leads off the phone right off the rip. So in addition to that, I'm playing into a good psychology trick here. After I start with the price, the rest of the conversation follows. I'm consistent. So I'll talk about a feature, I talk about another feature, talk about another feature. I ask them some questions. I get some data points and the pain behind why they want to actually do this. All of a sudden, the perceptual value of my offer is much higher than when I started with the price, so they can understand why it costs what it costs versus the opposite is also true. And unfortunately, it plays out negatively. If I start with the value and I start there with, hey, here's what it does, here's how it works, let me ask you some questions. Oh, I understand your pain. Okay, well, we're on the same page now. All of a sudden, here's the price. Well, all of a sudden, that's a huge cliff there, meaning they're going to have some potential objections. There's nothing that can follow the price to justify why it costs that much. You might think, well, Curtis, what the heck are you thinking about? You know, you just said everything over here that has to do with why it's as valuable it is. But once again, it's a sticker shocker of the situation. If I'm gonna buy a $300,000 car, I know right off the bat, it's 300K. Let's just say it's a new Lamborghini. Well, I already know it's 300K. Every other cool thing that I learned about it after I know makes me think to myself, oh, makes sense why it's 300K, versus if I learn about all the cool shit that Lamborghini has first, I learn about the exhaust, I learn about how loud it is, I learn about like the little window behind your head so that you can hear the engine louder, you know, the fact that it's a limited edition run, you know, I might learn about the cool colors and all the paint stuff they do, learn about the paddle shifters and like the transmission and the engine and shit, like the trunks in the front of the car, you know, all that fun stuff. Then I hear it's 300K, I'm like, ah shit, that sounds expensive. Nothing can really follow that. So say the price first and it makes it easier to digest the fact that it costs that much. It's a great psychology trick. It works extremely well. I'd encourage you to try it out, especially if you're not doing it now, because it's very, very effective at selling high ticket products and programs. Lead with the price, get shitty people off the phone, and then add value after you drop the price point. Try it out and let me know how it goes.